because it's so humid here. My hair has. Ew, why did I make that sound? Welcome back to the pod!
Welcome back to the miniature mic monologue.
Guys, I am so surprised that my voice is this intact right now because I've been working all week and I've had to use my big girl voice to work all week, and my voice is only medium level hoarse right now. Like, sometimes when my voice gets hoarse, I say to myself, this is my regular voice tenor. Like, I'm always in this mid range, and then I get my normal voice back and I'm like, just kidding. But it's close to this, so I guess that's why I feel like that. Anywho, Dini, you guys, another questions episode back to back. Say what? You know, I think I have been trying to figure out what questions that I need to ask myself to kind of figure out where I am, what I want to do next. And I keep running into people that I know that have seen me when I was doing what I know, when I knew what I wanted to do, like old coaches, just different family members at times even. And, people who know me as that version of myself. Not that I have changed drastically from that version, but I have changed in a significant way. You know what I'm saying? And I got to see one of my favorite college coaches ever recently. We were just talking and I'm telling them like, so I don't know what I want to do. Like, I kind of want to play pro. Like, I kind of want to do this. I don't really want to do that. Like, don't want to do what I'm doing right now forever, or like, just all those kinds of things. And they were like, oh, so you're figuring out how to be an adult? And I was like, right, I guess this is just like a normal growing pain. And I think I've talked about desire on a specific episode. I've talked about, this sense of I don't want to say identity, but this overwhelming presence of knowing what I would like or what I want, and it being a consistent force in my life a lot this year on the podcast. And I think it's taken me up until now to realize that that's because I think I want different things. I think I want different things than I thought that I would want by the time I was at this stage in my life. I don't know if that context makes any more sense, but basically what I'm trying to say is that my desires have changed a lot, because I used to want to like go out and conquer and acquire and move and progress and advance and do more at like at the top of anything. That's what I used to want. Like, I think at the top of anything, obviously secondary to Jesus. That is just like what drove me for a long time. And now I want not that. And I don't know what it is that I want. Like, am I going to want to achieve and conquer and, have a great zest or zeal for something again in my life? 100%. Like, it's not going away. It is just taking a big back seat right now. And I think I would be amiss to say that that is just the turn of the tables, because I'm no longer an athlete. I believe it's, or like a student athlete. I believe it is largely to do with my experiences this year and how they have reminded me constantly that sometimes what you need is the only thing that you should want. You know what I'm saying? If your needs are met, what more could you want for? And I've really been trying to assess and suss out like what's going on deep down in my soul. What is like turning? How am I going to, begin to pursue my life again from this newly found place of like updated desire? You know what I'm saying? Because desire has been a driver. Like my desire to have a good relationship with the Lord, and I don't think that that's healthy. Now looking back on how I did it and what I was basing good off of at the time. Just a disclaimer, how well I could do at school, whether that was volleyball related, whether that was um, actually academically related. Geez, what took me so long to get the other side out? It's because I never went to class. I'm joking. I definitely did go to class all the time. And uh, like, wanting to be a good daughter, wanting to be able to like provide some good shift and change for my family. Like, do I still want those things minus the school? Because keep that away from me for a cool minute. Yes, like, yeah, definitely, totally. But like, I think I I just feel like this phrase is overused. However, I feel like it is accurate, except I don't think it's in the common societal use of that word. You know what I'm saying? It's like I think it gets taken out of context a lot now because people will be like, "Oh, you got humbled," or "I got humbled." That's the phrase. Um and it's just like a regular life circumstance, like, I don't know. I just feel like I hate sometimes saying things that are buzzwordy or buzz phrasey because I just feel like they have no meaning, you know. But I think, yeah, I I am not gonna say I think the Lord humbled me because I don't know. Like I don't agree with that. I don't know what His plans or His intentions are, and I definitely feel like that kind of vernacular, when you are going through a difficult season of life, villainizes God in a lot of situations. And I am not in the business of villainizing the man, the deity, the being who, as you saw last week, I discovered a layer of his love that I had been looking over. Um, for a while now. Like I'm not in the business of doing that. So that's another reason. Like there's always nuance, and I I take what people, deities, the one deity we're talking about, obviously those are the two situations. If I value you enough to allow you to speak into my life, I do not take your words lightly. I was raised like that, and I was raised on the Bible and with a mother who taught me that my words matter. So that's why, like a lot of times on here, I spend so much time waiting, pausing, or explaining why I do or do not like this word, phrase, sentence, whatever, um, because words have power, like specifically the power of life and death is in our tongue, and so I do not mince them. You feel me? Um but yeah, I just don't want what I used to want anymore. I just want to not ever need for anything ever. You know what I'm saying? Like, there are some things that I would like to see achieved in my lifetime, and there are some things that I would like to see achieved in the near future. There are some things that I need in the near future, and I want all of those things to become a reality for me. But it's no longer the pressing or preeminent, if you will. Do I like that word? I don't know. Let me get a definition reminder. Yeah, it's no longer the preeminent um, cause of reason in my strategic line of thought for my life, you know? And um, I'm really okay with that. Like, I don't like volleyball will always be a part of me. It will. And I am not talking around this idea of me, like, I don't know, giving up sports forever. Like, I'm not hinting at something and not actually saying it. It's not that. But I bring up volleyball because for the first time recently, was like, if I never went back in whatever capacity that was, I would be more than content with the way that I walked away and what I did. And I don't know if I ever fathomed me coming to that conclusion, just because I had such a fervent desire to play the game. And I still do. Like, it doesn't go away. You know what I'm saying? Two things can be true at once. But, like, if I never got the opportunity to play again or see it again or do whatever, I think I would be like, I did what I did. And if that's all that anyone ever sees or knows about me and all of the ways that I've interacted with it, then, like, love it. You know what I'm saying? Um, and it's interesting because when I was talking with one of my favorite, like, this same favorite coach, oh no, I lost my train of thought. What was I going to say? I can't remember. Oh no, I had a good connection. I'm so annoyed. It's okay. If I remember, I will definitely immediately stop talking and start explaining. And I moved you a little closer because I felt like we were far. As I'm getting into this next phase of my life, and uh, I think, I don't know if I've said this plainly, but, like, the question that I was really asking myself was, like, what do I really want? Like, what is it that I really want? And as I've said, I've come to realize is that I just want to be in a place where all of my needs are met. Like, I want that over everything right now. And, like, we could accredit that to a shift in the weight bearing of responsibility for my livelihood. We could accredit that to an increased sense of dutifulness for, like, those exact same reasons. We could accredit that to a lot of things, but I feel like it really speaks to what questions I need to ask myself next, because I'm not in a position to be the one who gets to steward the meeting of my needs right now. And have I ever liked that? No, I've never liked it. I'm never gonna like it. Like, it's not gonna be something that I enjoy. You feel me? But have I ever had a need that has not been met? No. That's what I was gonna talk about a little bit, because we talked about how this is me and the coach. The coach and I were talking about how usually when you go to a program and you build a culture that holds a lot of value because it instills value in the individuals, therefore the group inherently rises and is valuable to the sport, to each other, etc. You understand? Usually the group that does that work, that lays the foundation, does not reap the benefits of the work because time, seed, and harvest. And a lot of times, the time between the seed and the harvest is long. And that's another theme of like things that I have been experiencing and enduring, and like a lot of time to reflect has given me perspective enough to see that like it's been longer than I thought. It's just now that I am starting to see and feel it, and recognize that I have been in the time part before we get to the harvest. You know what I'm saying? But we talked about that because Coach and I were both in situations where we sowed into programs, and like just in general in my life, that is like the mission of the Christian is to sow into people the love of God. And but specifically as it relates to volleyball, we've been in positions where we've sowed and didn't get to reap, but that's what he was telling me, is that like he sowed in a position that he was in and he didn't get to reap it. Like the championships came after, right? But when I look back on what happened throughout my career, were there a lot of things that were, yes, many of them. More of them than the things that were like, except that I went into college with the dream, with the goal of being a national champion. We know that that didn't happen because that's how I started this podcast with that question episode. But I went into college with this unwavering belief that I would come out a champion. Like I went in with this unwavering belief that I would come out a champion, and I did. My final year of collegiate volleyball, the class of fifth years were bought in and we were committed, and we were like, we want to be the conference champions. Did most of us have the belief that we could go further and we could win? Yeah, but like that kind of crazy faith takes a courage that you don't really encounter, or you don't really encounter and therefore know that it exists unless you encounter God, or interact with his word often. So I'm not like, oh, it's everybody else's fault. No, 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 no. I've already made my peace with the Lord about all that stuff. You know what I'm saying? But we were like, we want to do this, which was be the champions of the WCC. We have what it takes to do it, and we're going to do it. And we did that. Like in less than a year, we started, like it kind of started at different points depending on how you look at it, because some people come in the spring, some people, commit earlier, some people come in the summer, some people don't come till the fall. All of those factors excluded. Like we had from July to what day did we get the championship? Hold your horses. Hold your horses. We were crowned the champions on, no way. It was in November. I posted it in December. Continue to hold. Please continue to hold. Yep. Okay. We were crowned the champions November 27th, 2024. Do you see that? November 27th, 2024. That's me in the locker room with the hat. So July, August, September, October, November, December. 6 months. Time, seed, and harvest. Did I say that right? That's time, seed, and harvest. Yeah. And sometimes it is like that. And sometimes it works like that. But I think I went into college with this big belief about that. And it was also a big belief about my life that if I believed and I put in the work, once the appropriate amount of work was done, and I could go a lot of places with this. I could say in my eyes, or I could say based on the standards that are set by other people that we have to adhere to because of the space that we're in, or yada, yada, yada. Like I could go down that route, or I could just say, if I put the work in to do what's required, I will get the outcome that I want. That was true in that season of my life. And I think I put so much weight on that the national championship, and like if that worked out, that is how my life would continue to be. And for many reasons, well, obviously we weren't national champions, but I think for many reasons now that I'm like looking back on it, I can see beyond like the top answer that the Lord gave me when I asked him about it, why he didn't want me to believe that. Because then I would believe kind of what you've seen me work through and dissect and, you know, try to figure out where I believed or where I bought in or where I did da 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 da. That God and his love are equal to the time in which he uses to bless me, the efficiency of that process. And that has just never been biblical. And like, I know it now, but at the time I didn't, you know what I'm saying? And growing up in the microwave generation, all that stuff where it's like, give it to me, give it to me, give it to me, or get out, makes sense that that's how my thoughts were conditioned. But I think I've been reflecting on a couple other things that are like that too. One that I think might kind of lead me in the direction of truly understanding what it is that I want to do next, is kind of realizing that in many, like, there's just a pattern I've noticed. I don't want to put it out on the internet right now, okay, but like that has also been helping me and it's been great. But yeah, that really stuck with me because I was like, yeah, that didn't happen for me either. Like I sowed, there was time and I didn't really harvest, and I was like, yes I did. I was like, wait, yeah, yes I did. Like, was it the harvest that I anticipated? Kind of, but I just anticipated it as a stepping stone because like in most cases, unless you're Power 5, you have to win your conference in order to go to the NCAA tournament. Which, sidebar, the freaking rule change, I only have one addendum to that, and it is, what do you mean no medical red shirt? Just because they now have 5 years to play five does not mean that they should not be granted a year of absence of use of eligibility because they get injured. What sense does that make? It existed when they had 5 years to play four. So in reality, when kids got injured, you had 6 years to play five. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, the standard there, I'm not really sure what went into that because I just think it's inconsiderate because injury is so common. It's so common and it's so unfortunate. And them not being able to stop their clock, and like, yeah, I know it's after 19, but what if they get injured at 20? That's just my grievance. Anyways, you get what I'm saying. You get what I'm saying. I just am like, I'm seeing things differently. I'm desiring things differently, and I'm figuring out what I want to do with that information. And I'm here for it. I'm here for it. Pray for your girl. I'm feeling stressed out right now, honestly. Because, like I said, I got some things that I need. I do. And I need to get myself calm because it's like, when has the Lord not provided for me? All right. I'm going to get out of here. Ilya Millie. I recorded this on the day I uploaded it. If you're watching it on the day I uploaded it. And I'm obviously not at home. I'm working late. But I'm not a singer. I really wish I was. Okay, bye.